Ever catch yourself daydreaming about, like, just hopping on a plane and escaping to somewhere new and exciting?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
You're not alone. I mean, seriously, today we're diving into this age-old question.
Oh,
Is travel really worth it?
you know,
It's just
especially everyone asks.
for us younger folks.
Yeah, it's a big one. And there's no easy answer, is there?
No, not at all.
Because it really is tangled up with so much personal growth and finances and career goals, like even how we see ourselves in the world, you know?
It is, and to help us unpack all of that, we've got a pretty eclectic mix of sources this time.
Okay.
We've got some down-to-earth travel vloggers like
Cool.
Bailey Dean
Yeah.
and Simon Wilson.
Yeah?
We've got a thought-provoking discussion from the I'm Brian Study With Me podcast.
Okay.
And for a totally different perspective, we'll even take a peek into the world of billionaire travel with Wendover Productions.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we're going from like
The whole spectrum.
backpackers to billionaires.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I like. So our mission is to go beyond the typical, travel is always good narrative.
Right.
We're here to give you the tools to weigh the pros and cons,
Yeah.
especially from that unique perspective of being young and eager to explore.
Yeah, that's where you got to start, right?
Exactly. All right, so let's dive right in.
Okay.
The I'm Brian Study With Me podcast featured this great conversation between these two friends, Lisa and Mark.
Okay.
Lisa was totally team travel,
Oh, really?
saying it's absolutely essential for personal growth.
Mm-hmm.
She even called her recent trip to Italy a total eye-opener
Wow.
that broadened her horizons.
I love that. Now, I'm curious about those specific aha moments for Lisa. What exactly opened her eyes in Italy? Was it the art, the history, the food, the people pinpointing those moments can give us? And you listening a much clearer idea of what to look for in our own travels.
That is such a good point.
Yeah.
It's so easy to say travel changes you, but the real value is in understanding how it changes you.
Exactly.
It sounds like Lisa came back from Italy with this whole new level of confidence, too.
Oh, good for her.
She told this story about getting totally lost in Rome at night.
Oh.
Phone died.
Oh, no.
Barely spoke the language.
Yikes.
It sounds pretty stressful, honestly.
It does, but instead of panicking, she embraced the challenge. She asked for help, she connected with a local, and turned a potentially frustrating situation into a memorable experience. And that's resilience in action. And it's a skill you can hone through travel that goes way beyond just sightseeing.
I totally get that travel builds resilience, but honestly, I'm someone who really thrives on routine. Is there a way to kind of push myself out of my comfort zone without feeling totally overwhelmed?
Of course, there are lots of ways to do that. It's all about finding your own pace. Maybe start with a short trip somewhere that feels familiar but still offers new experiences. And remember, even planning a trip, researching destinations, budgeting, making itineraries can be a step outside that comfort zone.
That's true.
Yeah.
Mark, though, wasn't quite on board the travel train.
Oh, no.
He brought up some really valid points about the cost, especially for young people just starting out.
Yeah, for sure.
He even used the phrase breaking the bank,
Ugh, I hate that feeling.
which I think resonates with a lot of us.
It does. His concerns are totally understandable. But let's dig into this idea that travel has to be expensive. Bailey Dean, for example, is a huge advocate for budget travel. She's all about hostels, backpacking, and even workaway programs.
Wait, workaway programs? I've never even heard of that.
Have you not?
Tell me more.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's a fantastic way to immerse yourself in a new culture, contribute your skills, and get accommodation in return. Imagine teaching English in a rural village or helping out on an organic farm or even assisting with a community project. It's a completely different way to experience a place.
That sounds amazing.
Right.
I'm adding that to my travel to-do list for sure.
You should.
Okay, so to address Mark's concerns about safety,
Right.
it's true that it's a factor you have to consider,
Yeah.
especially you're traveling solo. But learning to assess risks,
Mm-hmm.
being aware of your surroundings,
Being smart.
and taking smart precautions are valuable life skills no matter where you are.
100%.
Plus, overcoming those challenges is exactly what builds that resilience we were talking about.
Exactly.
So travel is like a personal development boot camp,
Oh,
but with better scenery.
I love that analogy.
I like it.
Yes.
Okay, so...
And it's not just about character building.
Okay.
It can have a real impact on your career as well.
Oh, yeah. Elisa made a point saying that travel is an investment in yourself.
Yeah.
And the experiences you gain are priceless.
She's absolutely right. And in today's job market, those experiences can really make you stand out. Employers are increasingly looking for candidates who are adaptable, globally aware, and able to think outside the box. Travel demonstrates these qualities in a way that traditional education sometimes doesn't.
Yeah, it's not just about ticking off destinations on a map. It's about expanding your worldview and understanding different ways of life.
Exactly. Travel can spark career paths, business ideas, even unexpected job opportunities you never would have considered before. It's about opening yourself up to possibilities.
So even if travel seems daunting or expensive right now, the potential rewards are huge personal growth, career advantages, and a whole lot of amazing stories to tell. But what about those of us who can't just jet off on a year-long backpacking adventure?
That's where some practical advice comes in. Simon Wilson, in his blogs, really emphasizes that travel doesn't have to be a massive undertaking. Even short trips can be incredibly enriching. And Bailey Dean has a ton of tips for making travel happen, even on a tight budget.
Perfect. Let's dig into those tips because I think a lot of our listeners are eager to hear how they can actually make travel a reality.
Absolutely. Let's start with the financial aspect.
Okay, so,
Money, money, money.
all right, let's talk budget. I'm all ears for these financial hacks Bailey Dean is known for.
Okay, so here's things first. Adopting that experiences over items mindset.
Yeah.
That is huge. Think about it. Would you rather have the latest gadget or a week exploring a new city? Like, what creates a more lasting impact?
That is such a good way to put it. I know I often get caught up in wanting the newest thing,
Right.
but those things get old so quickly.
They do.
But a travel experience, though, that's something you carry with you forever.
Exactly. And practically speaking, it's about making conscious choices.
Yeah.
Maybe you pack your lunch a few times a week instead of eating out,
Right.
or skip that, impulse purchase online.
Mm-hmm.
Those small savings can add up quickly for a future trip.
Oh, totally. Those little things really do make a difference. So what else does Bailey recommend?
She's big on hostels, of course,
Yeah.
and backpacking for those who are comfortable with like a more minimalist approach.
Okay.
But there are also other budget-friendly options like slow travel,
Oh, yeah.
spending more time in fewer places,
Right.
which often means cheaper accommodation and deeper cultural immersion.
Slow travel. That sounds intriguing. It's like the opposite of that go, go, go travel style. Well, you're trying to cram in as many sites as possible.
It is. It's about savoring the journey, connecting with locals, and really getting a feel for the rhythm of a place.
I love that.
And, even if slow travel isn't your thing, simply being flexible with your dates can save you a ton of money on flights.
Right.
Flying midweek or during the shoulder season can make a big difference.
That's true. Those are all really great tips. Okay, what about travel credit cards? Are those worth looking into?
They can be, but it's important to use them responsibly.
Yeah.
Look for cards that offer travel rewards like miles or points that you can redeem for flights and accommodation, but be sure to pay off your balance in full each month to avoid racking up high-interest charges.
Right. Don't let those travel rewards turn into travel debt.
Okay, so we've got the saving strategies down.
Okay.
Now, what about making friends on the road?
Okay.
I think that's a big concern for people, especially those who are considering solo travel. Yeah, Bailey really emphasizes the importance of embracing that travel community, especially in hostels. She's met many of her travel companions through social media and Facebook groups specifically for travelers.
That makes so much sense. I hadn't even thought of that. So you could potentially find people to travel with before you even leave home.
Exactly. It's a great way to connect with like-minded people, share tips, and maybe even coordinate travel plans. And if solo travel still feels daunting, there's always the option of group trips.
Right.
They offer a sense of security and camaraderie, especially for first-time travelers.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I love that there are just so many different options to choose from.
There are.
What about incorporating travel into your existing life, even if you can't just drop everything and travel full-time?
Bailey's got some great advice on that, too. She suggests traveling between leases if possible,
Okay.
or subletting your apartment to cover rent while you're away. And for the truly adventurous, embracing the digital nomad lifestyle, working remotely while traveling the world, is becoming increasingly popular.
Yeah, the digital nomad life.
That sounds both amazing and terrifying. It does. It definitely has its challenges, but the freedom and flexibility are hard to beat. And even if those big trips aren't feasible right now, she stresses the importance of prioritizing weekend getaways and short trips.
Yeah.
Even a day trip to a nearby town can offer a fresh perspective and satisfy that travel bug.
It's all about just keeping that sense of adventure alive, even in your own backyard.
Exactly. Now, speaking of adventure, I think it's worth touching on that glimpse we got into billionaire travel with Wendover Productions.
Yeah.
It's a whole world of private jets, super yachts, and exclusive events like Art Basel Miami Beach.
Oh, yeah, it is fascinating to get a peek into that world. But how does that relate to us regular folks trying to decide if a trip to Thailand is worth the cost?
Here's what I find so interesting. Even billionaires, with all their resources, are realizing the value of experiences.
Right.
Wendover Productions even tracked Jeff Bezos' January travel itinerary.
Oh, wow.
He was hopping between Seattle, LA, Maui, even D.C., all while juggling business deals and personal commitments.
That's a crazy schedule.
It is.
Even for a billionaire, but I guess it shows that even they prioritize making time for travel and new experiences.
Exactly. It highlights a broader trend, the rise of the experiential economy. It's not just about owning things anymore, it's about collecting experiences.
Yeah.
That concert, you saw the cooking class, you took the mountain you climbed, those are the things that truly enrich our lives.
And travel is like the ultimate experience, right? It's a chance to learn, grow, connect with different cultures, and create memories that will last a lifetime.
It is. And while most of us aren't traveling on Bezos's level,
Right.
it's reassuring to know that even the ultra-wealthy are seeking out those unique, personalized experiences.
So maybe we're not so different after all, just with slightly smaller travel budgets.
Exactly. But speaking of unique experiences, Fernanda Ramirez on the A Better You podcast dove deep into her solo travel experiences, specifically a trip to Europe.
Oh, cool.
She was super honest about both the challenges and the rewards, and she had some fantastic insights for anyone considering venturing out on their own.
I love that she didn't sugarcoat it. Solo travel can be intimidating, but also incredibly empowering.
Absolutely. She talked about how solo travel forces you to rely on yourself, make decisions, and navigate unfamiliar situations.
Yeah.
It's like a crash course in personal development. But she also had some really practical tips for making the most of the experience.
Like, I'm all for practical tips.
Well, she talked about the importance of romanticizing the experience,
Okay.
looking presentable, being open to conversations, journaling, vlogging, and embracing spontaneity.
I love that. It's about shifting your mindset and being open to whatever comes your way.
Exactly. And of course, she addressed safety considerations, being aware of your surroundings, trusting your instincts, and not posting your location publicly until you've left.
Yeah,
It's about being smart and responsible without letting fear hold you back.
totally makes sense. It's about finding that balance between being adventurous and being safe. Did she have any tips for dealing with loneliness or decision fatigue?
She did.
Okay.
She said it's important to be comfortable being alone, but also to seek out connections with locals and other travelers.
Okay.
Joining a walking tour, striking up a conversation at a cafe, or even just smiling at someone can lead to unexpected encounters and friendships.
Those are great reminders. It's easy to get caught up in our own little world, but travel forces you to open up and connect with people from all walks of life. Did Fernanda talk about any specific benefits she experienced from solo travel?
She said that solo travel made her feel more aware of herself and her surroundings.
Okay.
It's like you become more attuned to your intuition and better at making decisions in unfamiliar situations.
Yeah, it sounds like solo travel just throws you into the deep end of self-reliance,
It does.
forcing you to adapt and trust your gut. That's got to be empowering.
Absolutely. It's like a crash course in personal development.
Yeah,
But even if solo travel isn't your thing,
right.
remember Bailey's point about using social media and Facebook groups to connect with other travelers?
Yeah, you don't have to go it alone if that's not your style. And even if a big trip isn't feasible right now, you mentioned weekend getaways,
Right.
there's always a way to keep that travel bug satisfied.
There is. Even a short trip can offer a fresh perspective.
Mm.
Remember what Simon Wilson said about exploring hidden gems close to home?
Yeah.
It's all about being open to new experiences, whether it's across the world or in your own backyard.
So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We've heard Lisa's passion for travel as a path to personal growth,
Mm-hmm.
Mark's valid concerns about cost and safety, and Bailey's practical tips for making travel happen even on a budget. We even peeked into the luxurious world of billionaire travel.
We did. We saw how travel can be an investment in yourself, boosting your confidence and adaptability skills that employers value. And of course, we can't forget the sheer joy of experiencing new cultures and creating memories that will last a lifetime.
It really does feel like we've explored travel from like all angles here.
We have
Budget backpacking to billionaire yachts.
the whole spectrum.
But I think what stood out to me is that the core benefits of travel,
Yeah.
personal growth, new experiences, broadened perspectives,
Mm-hmm.
those seem to hold true no matter how you travel.
I agree. It's easy to get caught up in the Adirondack-worthy destinations
Right.
or the fanciest accommodations, but the real magic of travel lies in those intangible rewards, the connections you make, the challenges you overcome, the things you learn about yourself and the world.
So what does this all mean for you, our dear listener, who's been patiently soaking in all this travel wisdom?
Well, we've given you a toolbox filled with knowledge and perspectives. Now it's about figuring out what resonates with your individual goals and values.
Mm-hmm.
Do you crave adventure and self-discovery?
Right.
Are you hoping to gain skills that will boost your career? Or maybe you simply need a break from the daily grind and want to experience something new and exciting.
Maybe you're even dreaming of starting your own travel blog
Ooh,
and inspiring others with your adventures.
I love it.
Whatever your motivation, the key takeaway is that travel can be this incredibly powerful tool for personal growth, expanding your horizons, and discovering what you're truly capable of.
It really can.
We've heard about overcoming challenges like Lisa getting lost in Rome. We've
Mm,
heard about the different ways to travel from budget-friendly backpacking to even working abroad.
right.
Is there one piece of advice that really stands out to you as being essential for anyone who wants to make travel a bigger part of their life?
I think the most important thing is to simply take that first step.
Hmm.
It's so easy to get overwhelmed by the planning, the costs, the what ifs. But remember, Bailey's advice starts small.
Yeah,
Maybe it's a weekend getaway to a nearby town or a day trip exploring a new part of your city. The point is to nurture that travel bug and prove to yourself that it's possible.
I love that. It's like dipping your toes into the travel pool before diving headfirst.
Yeah,
And who knows, that small step could lead to some pretty amazing adventures down the road.
absolutely. Travel is a journey of self-discovery. And the most valuable souvenirs you'll bring back are the lessons you learn about yourself and the world around you.
So, dear listener, we'll leave you with this. What kind of travel experience aligns with your unique goals and values? What small step can you take today to make travel a bigger part of your life?
And remember, the world is waiting to be discovered.
Thanks for diving deep with us. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep that travel bug alive.